Okay, the strategy of sentence splitting does exactly what its name implies. Cuts sentences, long sentences, into shorter parts to reduce rambling sentences, possibly run-ons, and to improve sentence variety, and that's what we're using it for today. Now I'm going to take a look at Brendan's sentence. My dad coaches my lacrosse team, and it is very hard to be the coach's son because if I mess up and he sees it, he will call me on it. It's not a run-on because he correctly joined them. I'm going to split. I'll split the sentence right there. My dad coaches my lacrosse team and it. Jordan, does that split work? My dad coaches my lacrosse team and it.
No.
Why not?
Because it doesn't make any sense for you.
Why doesn't it make any sense?
Because we don't know what it means. Like, we don't know, like, what and it is going to mean.
In order to split a sentence, you must find noun, verb pairs. Jordan's right. That doesn't make any sense to split right there. Can somebody help me? Fly in this sentence. Just find one. It is. Very good. And you notice I split that right in half, so I'm not allowed to split them in half. Rissy. Dad coaches. Very good. More. Allie. Because is not a verb. You can't because something. Coach's son is, there's no verb in there. I mess up. Two more. He will call. Good. Why am I finding the noun-verb pairs? Because I'm not allowed to do what I did at the beginning that Jordan said doesn't make any sense. I can't split the noun-verb pairs in half. Let's keep them intact. Okay. So somebody, I don't want to split this into 5 sentences. That doesn't make sense. I'll split it into 2, maybe 3. Mia. Good. That's a good split. My dad coaches my lacrosse team. It's very hard to be the coach's son because if I mess up and he sees it, he will call me on it. Alexa. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Alexa. I was wondering if anybody would see that, and you did. Wonderful job. Let's read it now. My dad coaches my lacrosse team. It is very hard to be the coach's son. If I mess up and he sees it, he will call me on it. That works. You agree, right, Jordan? Yeah. I have, now let's make sure the sentence variety is still working. I have one clause in this sentence, noun-verb pair. One clause in this sentence, 3 in that sentence. 1, 1, 3, not bad. Brendan may want to look at the sentence in front of it. If the sentence in front of it is 1 also, he might be cautious. 1, 1, 1. So find noun-verb pairs. Split to preserve Does somebody see the relation? Sentence 3. We've got, if I mess up and he sees it, he will call me on it. Why did I keep those 3 together? Jay. Because they relate to each other. Bingo. It's an if-then statement. If this happens, then this happens. I need both sides of that. They relate. So very good, Jay. That's what I mean by an intact idea. If this happens, it's an intact idea. Keep it in the same sentence. My dad coaches the lacrosse team, and it is very hard to be the coach's son are related ideas, but they're not directly related. They're two different ideas. Hey, guess what? My dad coaches the lacrosse team, and I have a hard time with it. Those are different ideas. They belong in the same paragraph, but not the same sentence. That's sentence splitting. If you find yourself looking at a sentence that is extraordinarily long, split it into parts. Allie. There's not one number. If there were one number, Allie, I'd give it to you, but I would look at the ratio of number of clauses to number of words. So he's got 5 clauses. How many words are in the sentence? Did you count them? 31. 5 to 31 seems pretty big. We've got a lot of clauses and a lot of words. Now it's seeming pretty big. But Allie, you won't know that until you actually read the individual sentence. If I can give you a mathematical rule, I'd love to, and I would. But it really is dependent on the sentence. Your rule, though, Allie, if I can give you a rule, is if one sentence contains a number of different ideas that don't directly relate to each other, split them up, like we did here. Anybody else have a long sentence? We can use one more example. Brennan, why don't you type yours on the board as well, please? So let's see one more example, and I'd like you all typing Brennan's as he writes, and I'll make this font larger so you can write as he types. Okay, pause, Brennan. Pause. Okay, that should be a little bit easier. Actually, hold on, Brennan. Pause for a moment again. I'll make it much easier for everybody. Right. Yes. I know, I'll change it. Thank you, Daniel. Now you know why it's hard to read most of the time. Interesting, Brennan. This presents us with some curious problems. Therefore, I like it. Like hockey. Hockey is my favorite sport to play in the winter and not all the other seasons because the ice will not stay cold enough. Kira, can you find a noun-verb pair in there for me, please? Is a verb, but what's the noun for is? There you go. I see one more only. Can somebody find that last one for me? Jessica? You sure? Jordan?
Ice and will not.
Ice is correct. It's actually will what? Will. What's the verb connected to will? Will's a helping verb. Will what? Not's not a verb. Stay. We've talked about this a couple times, and I'll emphasize it. It's kind of a complicated concept. Not, never, also, always. These are adverbs. That interrupts my verb. So my verb is will stay. Not is an adverb that interrupts it. Hockey is and ice will stay. Yes, Alexa. Good, like hockey. So Alexa, what do you think like hockey is doing? Why do you think he wrote that? Where does it belong, like hockey? kind of hard to see, Alexa, because you actually have to see something that's not there right now in order to answer my question. Let's see if somebody else sees it. It's kind of tricky. Mia? The sentence before, right? And what's the sentence before that? Like hockey. Makes sense? We will combine that with the previous sentence. Problem solved. You're right, Alexa, that's strange. Now we have hockey is my favorite sport to play in the winter and not all the other seasons because the ice will not stay cold enough. Can somebody give me a break point? Let's split this in half once. Jay? I'll give you a hint, Jay. We're going to keep that because. The and, where is there only one and? Yeah, that and. Bingo, I agree. Let's see. We have to rewrite a little bit though. Sometimes if we split, we can't simply split and like Brendan's, see one that's intact. Hockey is my favorite sport to play in the winter. Not all the other seasons because the ice will not stay cold enough. Alexa. Oh my gosh, I love it. Nicely done. Hockey is my favorite sport to play in the winter. In all the other seasons, the ice will not stay cold enough. Good. Sentences flow. It works. That's sentence splitting. You can see that with Brennan's, it was a little bit more challenging. The splits didn't present themselves quite as clearly. They presented themselves here. But the same two-step process. Find the noun-verb pairs, and then split to preserve those noun-verb pairs and the ideas themselves. Brendan, you had a problem with the word lacrosse, right? Allie, what was your repeated word? You have repeated verbs? Okay. Anybody have repeated nouns? You have repeated nouns? I. Anybody have repeated nouns instead of pronouns? Brendan, the only one? Brendan, let's see your repetition on lacrosse. Oh, Daniel, do you have? No? Okay. Lacrosse starts the sentences? That's fine. Let's see the sentence. I want to demonstrate another revision strategy, and I need to see repetition of nouns. Yes? Which noun? Friends. Excellent. So, Allie, hold on 1 second. We're going to see that in a moment. Go ahead. This next strategy. So we have 3 strategies so far. We have replacing the subject in the sentence. We have sentence combining and sentence splitting. 4th strategy is using pronouns. Many of you are not. And this is a really simple strategy. Yes, Jessica. Yes, sorry. Pause for a moment there. Go for it. Using pronouns, and here's your example. If you want to write under using pronouns, you could say useful for eliminating repetition of nouns. Do you have another sentence with lacrosse? Okay, type that one too. Just put it in the same block. All right. Okay. Sometimes you want the same idea to repeat often throughout your writing, but you don't want the word to repeat. So you can use pronouns, that's why pronouns exist, or you can use synonyms. So I'll actually add synonyms because I will use a synonym here instead of a pronoun. Allie, and I'm not looking at your sentences, so I can only guess how effective this will be, but if you are repeating friends often, try they or them. Okay? Lacrosse is my favorite sport because I love to hit people because I can get my anger out. Lacrosse is a very fast-paced game. As soon as one team scores, the two teams meet in the middle of the field for a face-off. Can somebody tell me a close synonym or some sort of related word to lacrosse that I could use instead of the word lacrosse? I don't want to use it. This game, he's already used game. Pick another one. You're on the right track, though, Heather. There you go. Oh, actually, Heather, I think I'm going to use your game idea. This game, now we've run into a problem. Lacrosse is my favorite sport because I love to hit people, because I can get my anger out. This game is a very fast-paced game. As soon as one of the teams scores, the two teams meet in the middle of the field for a face-off. My revision has just created a problem. What is it, Heather? Very good. So how do I fix this? Simpler. Simpler. I mean, the revision is simpler. Thank you. Yes. There you go. So Brennan, if you are repeating lacrosse often, use game, use sport, use activity, use other words that they're not exact synonyms, but they're pretty close, right? So lacrosse is my favorite sport because I love to hit people, because I can get my anger out. As soon as one team scores, the two teams meet in the middle of the field for a face-off. He does repeat because. You're going to solve that, Jordan? You can, but I want to do something simpler. If we have because twice, we have two because ideas, right? One is because I love, and the other is because I can get. Combine those two. I can take because out and include which word? Oh, good. I like two. Actually, I like two better than the one that I was thinking of, which was and. Brendan, was that basically your idea, or? True. Brendan, that would work. It lets me get my anger out, but I'm going to give you a principle of writing that I like to follow. The shorter, the better. And yours eliminates the sentence repetition problem, but includes more words. So if we had this revision, revision A and revision B does the same thing shorter, revision B. In fact, I'll give you guys a prediction of the future. Someday you will sit down and take an ACT because you will be trying to go into college. The ACT tests students repeatedly on shortness of expression, on wordiness. And if you have three options, and option A, B, and D, or sorry, if you have four options, option A, B, and D are each 15 plus words, and option C is 3 words, almost always option C is the one they want. So go shorter, Brendan. Your revision fixed the problem, but in a long fashion, okay? Lacrosse is my favorite sport because I love to hit people to get my anger out. This game is very fast-paced. As soon as one team scores, the two teams meet in the middle of the field for a face-off. Now we've got no problem. Ellie, Would you mind just reading yours? Yes, please. Okay. Show me. 2 and 3. My friends make me laugh all the time.
Oh wait, oh you're saying right here.
Yeah, which ones do you want to deal with?
Number
2 and 4. So let's read 3 and 4 actually. My friends are all funny, and this is why I am friends with them. Rissy, another of my good friends, made me laugh because she started to dance in the middle of class. We have 3 friends in the space of 2 sentences.
right here,
Allie, could you do me a favor and type sentences 1 through 4 onto the board for me, please? I'd like to deal with this issue, but I'd like to see it. I don't think we can do this verbally. While she's doing that, I would like you all working on an act. Well, actually, I'd like you copying down what she's typing. So start typing. Pause for a moment, please. Go ahead. As before, I'd like you typing this example. We're still in using pronouns and synonyms. Actually, just type it as a paragraph so we can conserve space. Thank you. It's a name. It doesn't. Yeah, there you go. I've noticed that you folks really love the right-click spelling correction, don't you? You gotta be careful with that. Sometimes it prevents you from learning how to spell things correctly. Good. All right. My friends make me laugh all the time. One time, Caitlin made me laugh because she was making really weird faces. My friends are all funny, and that's why I'm friends with them. Rissy, another of my good friends, made me laugh because she started to dance in the middle of class. Allie's facing a problem because Allie's sentences are out of order. You typed them as you wrote them, Allie, and I understand that. However, in terms of the progression of ideas, you need to move one of the sentences. Can somebody tell me which sentence I will move and where I'll move it? Jay.
The third sentence was
You're correct, Jay. Why will I do that?
because it like separates the two friends that you're talking about.
It separates the general idea from the 2 examples. Perfect, Jay. Thank you. Now I think we'll find it easier to fix. My friends make me laugh all the time. My friends are all funny, and that's why I'm friends with them. One time, Caitlin made me laugh because she was making really weird faces. Rissy, another of my good friends, made me laugh because she started to dance in the middle of class. Pronoun replacement. Can somebody tell me between sentences 1 and 2 how I will use pronouns to prevent this repetition? Kira? Sentences 1 and 2, I'm going to replace friends with a pronoun somewhere. My friends make me laugh all the time. My friends are all funny, and that's why I'm friends with them. Kira, what pronoun will I use to replace my friends? Correct. Where will I do that? First phrase of the second sentence? Good. Okay. Solves one of the friend's problems, but we still have a second friend in there. Now it's time for the synonym replacement. She's saying, I am friends with them. Fix it, Jay. I am pals with them. Let's take out the am. Let's use a verb. If you're friends with somebody, what verb could you use to describe? My friends make me laugh all the time. They're all funny, and that's why I like them. Problem solved. Now, by the time I get down to friends in sentence 4, I don't mind because I'm not repeating it so often. One time, Caitlin made me laugh because she was making really weird faces. Rissy, another of my good friends, made me laugh because she started to dance in the middle of class. Repetition problem solved. Yes, Mia. You could. I was thinking about that too. I wanted to demonstrate the pronoun and synonym thing, but how would you combine sentence 1 and sentence 2?
I like them because my friends make me laugh.
I'm not sure that flows as smoothly as it could. I like where you're going. I like what you're trying to do. My friends make me laugh all the time. I think maybe we'll just keep them split. I was thinking of combining 2, but I think the split is fine. I think it flows much better. I think there's much more sentence variety. It seems much more natural, much less broken up. Activity. I would like you, on a separate sheet of paper, to rewrite the first 6 sentences of your journal entry, improving them, just in the same way we did here. So Allie's first 4 sentences have just been rewritten for her. She needs to address the next 2. I want all of you to rewrite the first 6 sentences. Jay, if you... Good, but I'd like them on a separate sheet of paper, double spaced, because what's going to happen is I'm going to give these to another student, and they're going to double check to make sure that your sentences are varied. Transcribe, rewrite, skipping every line. Okay? Skipping every other line.
I already corrected a lot of mistakes.
Then what I want, Jordan, is it in a nicely clean package that you can hand to another student that they can read. So your notes on your draft are excellent, but they're probably mostly legible to you. So let's see about getting into somebody else. Heather? Pause a second. Let me stop the recording so I can answer your question.